This Week in Gaming with Naomi Kyle.
Happy Summer Game Fest, everyone. I'm Naomi Kyle, and welcome back to This Week in Gaming. This week, we're catching up on Summer Game Fest, the Ubisoft Forward, and the Xbox Showcase. Each of them are packed with reveals, gameplay trailers, IPs new and returning. We've got all of this week's gaming news and announcements. So, let's get started. Starting off with what we saw come out of the Summer Game Fest event itself. The rumors were true. A LEGO Horizon game kicked off Summer Game Fest as the first big announcement. We can expect it to release for PS5, PC, and Nintendo Switch. I know, a PlayStation IP on a Nintendo console is somehow crazier news than a LEGO game of a game, but here we are. We are truly living in a simulation, aren't we? LEGO Horizon is expected to drop this holiday season. A trailer for Harry Potter Quidditch Champions was also revealed, and we can expect to play the game very soon on all platforms on September 3rd of this year. PS Plus subscribers will be getting to play this title day one as one of the free monthly games for the month of September. We will remind you in a couple months during episode 25's game release segment, so don't worry. A sequel to the tactical powerhouse Civilization, Civ 7, is coming sometime next year. We can anticipate the game to release a day and date for both console and PC. The Eastern action RPG based on the legendary myth Journey to the West finally received a release date. Black Myth Wukong will be released on August 20th of this year on PS5 and PC. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 gave us a look at some new gameplay footage and added that Kingdom Come 2 will be available on PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. No release date for this one, but it should arrive sometime this year. We got a look at Sonic X Shadow Generations in a new gameplay trailer that featured music that hooked me instantly and took me back to my days playing Sonic Adventure 2 on the Sega Dreamcast. I had the best time playing this at Summer Game Fest, and I am beyond excited for you to all get your chance to play it as well when it releases on all platforms on October 25th. Sam Lake, creator of the Alan Wake games, surprised everyone at the Summer Game Fest presentation by shadow dropping an expansion for Alan Wake 2. The expansion, titled Night Springs, contains 3 episodes interconnecting 3 new characters and is playable now on PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. Tony Hawk's spiritual successor Skate was shown off during the event, and it was revealed you can playtest it on console sometime this fall. For those of our listeners who are interested in playing Skate in any state, you can register to become a guinea pig at skate.game/insider. Skate, however, was not the only ones dipping their toes into the console scene, as the 5v5's tactical shooter Valorant revealed that a limited beta version will be available for console on June 14th for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. If you or some of your teammates are interested in seeing how this will all shake out on console, you can sign up for the limited beta now at beta.playvalorant.com. The last 2 games to round off the show were Monster Hunter Wilds and Phantom Blade Zero, which each got fresh new gameplay trailers.
Quest accepted.
Moving on to the Xbox Showcase, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at long last got a release date. Expect to play the new COD title on October 25th. A side of Doom we've never seen before was revealed during the showcase with the announcement of Doom: The Dark Ages. Set in a medieval universe where Doom Guy rides a dragon and dons a chainsaw shield. Yeah, I know, it's pretty freaking metal, and words don't do the trailer justice. You just need to see it for yourself. Dragon Age Dreadwolf, as it was formerly known, has been given the new title Dragon Age The Veilguard, and with it a new trailer and a release window. Fall of this year. A new expansion was announced for Starfield titled Shattered Space. There is no release date yet, but a new update with new locations, gear, and bounties was added to Starfield to tide over fans until Shattered Space arrives sometime this year. In light of the massive success and hype surrounding the Fallout universe, thanks to the new show on Amazon, Xbox announced that Fallout 76 will be getting a new expansion where players can finally play as a ghoul. The expansion, titled Skyline Valley, is out very soon on June 12th. After nearly 20 years, World of Warcraft is as grand an adventure as ever, and at the showcase, Blizzard revealed the release date for their 10th expansion, The War Within, which is set to release on August 26th. A remake of Hideo Kojima's legendary title, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, was announced at the showcase as well. The remake, dubbed Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, has no release date as of yet, but hype levels are, as you expected, through the roof. For the first time since the dark year that was 2020, a brand new trailer with gameplay for Perfect Dark was revealed during the showcase. I am so happy that the franchise isn't dead. However, fans of Perfect Dark aren't out of the woods yet, as there still is no release date for this game. Diablo 4 has set aside a special place in hell just for us in the new expansion, Vessel of Hatred. The trailer shown contained brutality of the highest degree. If you plan on watching it for yourself, consider watching it before or after you've clocked out for work, and don't watch it during your lunch break. It really is that brutal. No joke, I was watching the trailer mid-brunch and I lost my appetite, so consider this your warning. Vessel of Hatred drops on October 8th. We got another trailer for Fable at the showcase. Still not much gameplay for that one, and no release date yet, other than a release window of sometime in 2025, and a promise that Game Pass subscribers will be able to play Fable day one on Game Pass. Xbox had an announcement of their own at the showcase this time around. Yep, an all-digital Xbox Series X console was revealed. As the name suggests, the console will have no disk drive, knocking $50 off of the launch model's $500 price tag, putting the digital Series X at $450. That's not all, though. Xbox announced two models with expanded storage for the Xbox Series X and S. The Series S has increased from 512 gigs for $300 and 1 terabyte for $350, and the Series X increased in size from 1 terabyte for $500 and 2 terabytes for $600. Storage on all models of Xbox Series X and S can still be expanded, of course, with the addition of the storage expansion card, which was revealed at the console's launch and has steadily declined in price over the years from $220 at launch to just $120 at GameStop for a refurbished card at the time of this recording. Rounding out the showcase was, of course, drumroll please, a new Gears of War title. However, this isn't going to be a sequel to Gears 5 like fans have been anticipating online, but instead it will be a prequel. Gears of War E-Day takes place 14 years before the first Gears of War and serves as Marcus Phoenix's origin story and his encounters when the Locusts first invaded Serra. There's no release date yet, but I am so hyped for this game, and I am holding out hope for Gears of War E-Day to get a day one release on Game Pass.
Quest complete.
And last but not least, at Ubisoft Forward 2024, they unveiled some in-depth new gameplay for Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows, where they showed off even more how beautiful the worlds are. For Star Wars Outlaws, we got to see some cool space combat and a few desert missions, while Assassin's Creed Shadows showed off its dual protagonist gameplay and gorgeous music and locales. We then got the announcement of Anno 117 Pax Romana and a 2026 release window for the Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake. Other highlights included the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora DLC launching next month, X-Defiant's first season reveal, which starts July 2nd, and details for Skull and Bones Season 2 and the Crew Motorfest Year 2 content.
Games out this week.
Now, even with all these Summer Game Fest announcements and news, there are still games coming out this week, so let's go over all of them. V Rising comes out on PS5 June 11th. Then, June 13th, DLC for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, A Dance of Masks releases on PS4, PC, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and Kingdom Hearts 3 plus Remind all finally make their way to PC. For those who want to revisit all of the games, you can purchase the Kingdom Hearts Integrum Masterpiece, releasing the same day on PC. On June 14th, Sunnyside releases on PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. Monster Hunter Stories Remastered flies over from the 3DS onto PS4, PC, and Switch, and Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, soars over from the Switch to the PS4. Then June 15th, DLC for Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is back for revenge on all platforms. Game Pass subscribers on PC can download Depersonalization starting June 12th, and on June 13th, all Game Pass subscribers can download Insanzo and the Callisto Protocol for free. Amazon Prime subscribers can download Everdream Valley, Myth Force, Projection First Light, and Blast Brigade vs. the Evil Legion of Dr. Creed for free starting June 13th. On the Epic Games Store starting June 13th, users can download Redout 2 for free and $100 worth of in-game content for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, but you've got to act quickly. These freebies are only available until June 20th. So that's the news for this week. It's now time to chat with our guest, Kahlief Adams, who returns to chat with us about all the big summer game announcements we got to see this week.
Select game mode. Multiplayer.
Kahlief, we have a lot to chat about.
We have lots to dig into. Let's do it.
So much to dig into. Let's start off with the first thing that kicked off everything, which was the official Summer Game Fest presentation. What did you think of this year's lineup of games that were shown? World premieres, all that stuff.
I mean, Jeff Keighley had a really great kind of preface for the show. He was like, here are going to be the expectations that I'm setting for you. Don't get too high, don't get too low. And I think he landed the ship pretty well in terms of that. Lots of great games. It was such a ton of stuff. I mean, it was just all over the place in terms of games that I thought were going to be really, really exciting to see and stuff that kind of came to the forefront in terms of what we did get a chance to see. I'm trying to think through everything that was in there. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero was a thing that was really exciting for me to be able to check out. That was really exciting to see. All the things from Blumhouse Games, which was new. We didn't get a chance to see a lot of stuff from them because they're just coming out. If you're familiar with the horror genre, Blumhouse Pictures does a lot of movies in that genre, and now seeing them get into games was really cool. Sleep Awake, Crystal, the Theater of Gods, those two games looked really, really fantastic. Killer Bean, which was
a surprise.
a surprise and a banger for sure. Super over the top, just making fun of everything, feels super goofy in that space. First Descendant was also a really fantastic one in there as well.
That was the one that I think was the star of the show for me. Like in terms of what I wasn't expecting to like as much that we saw. I really loved the trailer. I thought that it looked beautiful and the music and everything that they did for the presentation was great.
Yeah, it's super flashy, right? Like super flashy looter shooter. I love the way they nailed that. And then we got some nostalgia too that's coming back in Skate, which I was really, really happy about. I was looking forward to that, and seeing that was in the show really made me happy. So I think they did a pretty good job overall in terms of nailing what they're trying to do for this year.
Yeah, I thought it was good. In terms of the presentation, I was there at the live show. I was expecting maybe some live performances, but I guess that's okay for what it was. It's, it's primarily for people at home who want to watch to see what they have showing at Summer Game Fest. Now, of course, Sony announced some stuff just kind of coinciding with the event. They didn't have an official presentation, but what games stood out to you that they, confirmed were happening, maybe that you got to play at SGF?
Astrobot was the winner. Astrobot was the winner for sure.
I was hoping you'd say that one.
Yeah, Astrobot was the winner for sure. I mean, it was funny because I went into that game. I love platformers, but I'm a little bit, tired of the genre. But then getting a chance to actually play it and have hands on, I'm totally back on board for that thing. It's going to be so good. They have their mascot that they've been looking for a long time. And it does feel like this really good balance of something that your kids can play, pick up super easy and run with. And you and I, as a little bit older and kind of being in the space and playing games for a while, can get back into that nostalgia of what it feels like to have a really good platformer on your hands. So Astrobot, they did their thing, Sony. Good job.
Yeah, it was really good. Another one that I'm glad they confirmed, because there had been rumors circling around the space, that the confirmation that Lego Horizon is a thing. So we're going to be seeing, Horizon Zero Dawn turn into a Lego game. So a game about a game, which is interesting. But I didn't get to play it or anything. I know they had some sort of demo at the show. Did you get to check it out or anything?
I did get a chance to check it out. It is very, very cool. A lot of co-op gameplay in there. I don't think I'm breaking any embargoes. There might be some, so we'll have to check it. But it was really fun. I love what they're doing in the Lego space. I think that mashup of Horizon and, Lego games, they already had a Lego set that was around the Horizon IP. So I thought that was a really nice touch. And the game just looks really pretty. They're nailing the charm of Lego and mashing that over Horizon. So kudos to them for getting that done.
Yeah, and a great game for kids to, check out that world. Now moving on, of course, we're limited on time, so we got to roll through all the stuff. Yeah. We've got Xbox Summer Showcase. That one was kind of the highlight. Like, I saw so much positive feedback from fans online and across from people I spoke to at the show. What were some of your highlights from that one in particular? I know mine, but I'd love to hear yours.
South of Midnight was the one for me. I mean, it was, that mashup of kind of bringing it to the bayou with that combination of that 2.5D animation, or the kind of stop animation that you see in something like the Spider-Verse that was kind of in the cutscenes. And it just has so much style, style in that game. And the aesthetic is just so gorgeous. So South of Midnight was my winner for that show for sure.
Mine has to be Fable. I just that we got to see something else. We have a release window. I mean, there's not much else beyond that we got to see, but from what I saw, it looked beautiful. It's just scratching that itch for me as a longtime fan of the Fable games. And of course, we saw
Gears.
Gears. Yeah, Gears. That was like literally a tip of my tongue. Gears, we finally got not a sequel, not a full sequel. We're doing a prequel, which I think is actually cool. They're kind of easing us back into it. What did you think of what they showed?
I mean, it looks gorgeous. I've been waiting for the Unreal Engine version of, Unreal Engine 5 version of Gears for a long time. I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about the prequel layer of it. Because me, as a person who had, have been playing through all of that series for so long, I wanted to see what the kind of cliffhanger ending that they had landed on, what they were going to do next. And I also just want to see some future tech in that world, right? Like we got a chance to see, so many new weapons and cool innovations in that space. I was like, ooh, what does a Lancer look like in the future, right? So I'm excited for it, though. Anything Gears, I'm ready for.
Yeah, that was the big thing. And just so much positivity of everything that they showed. There was a lot of hype around it.
Oh, yeah.
We got Call of Duty Black Ops, of course, got a release date confirmation. Okay. Moving on to Ubisoft Forward, we just had that today at the time of this recording. We got to watch it. Not much in terms of like new announcements, but there was a lot of gameplay shown of both Assassin's Creed Shadows and an in-depth look at Star Wars Outlaws, which, by the way, looked amazing. I was really glad. It's really refreshing to see this type of game in a Star Wars universe. And then Assassin's Creed Shadows, there was like a work in progress build, but it was gorgeous. The music looked great. You get to pet a dog, And then Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake. We got to see some of that. So what did you think of the overall showcase? What would you rate it out of 10?
Ubi did a really great job. I think they nailed it. I think it was about a 9 out of 10. I got a chance to check out Star Wars Outlaws and get some hands on. So that was really, really fun. Cool. That game is going to be brilliant. I think that Massive coming in and being, a team that you think of when you think of really tight gameplay from the Division is going to bring something very special to Outlaws in that way. The world building is going to be fantastic. The character building is always going to be great from an IP like that. So really excited for that. And then I got a chance to see the longer video version of Hands Off with Assassin's Creed, and that balance of Yasuke as the big tank coming through and chopping through everybody, and Naue as the kind of more nimble assassin ninja. It's going to be really cool to see how people are going to play that game in both styles, and how they're going to bring, the storytelling to both of those stories to kind of, intertwine and weave those together for a really great experience. So really excited for all those pieces together. It's going to be really fun.
I always love Ubisoft presentations, in the past during E3. They always bring the live performance element to it. And when they started with the Assassin's Creed Shadows music, I was completely immersed. I was like, this is amazing.
So good.
So good. All right. Overall expectations, were they met? I mean, we got Summer Games Fest. It's a little bit bigger this year. What did you think of the overall vibe of being on the campus at Summer Games Fest and some of the expectations you might have had for the things that were announced?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of expectations, it's funny because when you're on the campus, you wind up being in this really interesting bubble because, the SGF stuff is happening, but there's also like 5 or 6 other conferences happening during that time where the showcases are coming around. I've missed almost like all the other things that were happening because I was on the ground covering it. But I think they continue to nail what this is supposed to be. I think Jeff Keighley has found a really good balance of what E3 used to be in a kind of condensed version that for folks, at least on our end, you have everything in a really pretty local space where you can get to things and go cover a bunch of games really quickly and check those things out. So I came away always impressed. It takes a lot of people to get that job done and get that show done, and they seem to be handling that really, really well. So came away feeling really good.
Good. I felt the same way. I felt like it was immersive. I like the open environment, the walking around, the little like lounge areas too, to like take a break between your sessions, your hands-on demos, and then all just the connecting with friends, like reconnecting with familiar faces is always a blast during these types of things. Was there any particular game that you saw that you didn't expect to enjoy that you got to play, but maybe if you can't talk about it, that's totally fine. But that you can say you at least played and got to check out?
Ooh, I didn't get a chance to play this one, but got a chance to see it. Dragon Age. Dragon Age, it looked ridiculously cool. I'm very excited for what that's going to wind up being in a much bigger way. I think that game is going to really do fantastically. There was one game that really stood out for me, and I think that was Death Sprint 66.
Oh, I didn't get to check that one out.
Which was this really fun racer. Think about if your human body was taking the place of the car in F-Zero.
Oh, okay.
Really, really fun. It was really cool. I loved it. It was great.
So kind of a surprise for you to enjoy that one.
1,000%.
Oh, cool. I got to play Marvel Rivals. I thought that was really fun. Yeah. I was looking forward to playing that. It was kind of my highlight. And then I really enjoyed Tales of the Shire. Got to play that one a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Always a pleasure having you, Kahlief. Thank you so much for being on the show. I hope you'll come back. It'd been a minute since you were on it. So thank you to come back on like such a big event week. So it was great to have you.
Anytime you need me, I'm here.
Kahlief Adams is founder and host of the Spawn on Me podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at Kahlief Adams.
Flawless victory! Continue!
And that's This Week in Gaming. I'm your host, Naomi Kyle, and thank you so much for listening. I had a blast bringing you the news. Don't forget to let me know what you're playing and what you think of these stories by tagging me at Naomi Kyle on social. From all of us here at This Week in Gaming, we wish you a gaming-filled week, and we'll see you again, same time, same place. Talk to you later.
This Week in Gaming is an iHeartRadio Canada podcast. Subscribe to this podcast on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts. Download the iHeartRadio app for more podcasts just like these.